Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
That's right.
He's running for Senate. We have the brother Jamel Holley. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did. How y'all doing? Good morning.
Good morning, brother. How's
Jamel,
everything?
what's up, King?
How you doing, brother?
I'm blessed, black, and highly favored, man. I'm trying to figure out why is this election so quiet, it seems.
Yeah, well, it's an off election, usually when it's a presidential race, a lot of action is happening, a lot of anxieties going on, but off-year elections are very slow, and that's really part of the problem with our electorate. We got to make sure that even on off elections, we stay engaged, because offices like I'm running for state senate or state assembly, they really are critical to our community, because we make a lot of laws and that really impact our lives here in the state of New Jersey.
Explain that, though. Explain the position. What is that? What would, if we voted you in, because, me and Envy are residents of Jersey, what would your job duties entail?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm currently a state assemblyman. There's 80 assembly representatives in the state of New Jersey. There's 40 state senators. For my district in particular, I will be the first African-American state senator here in Union County ever elected. But we make laws. We pass bills. We make laws that are incorporated to the state of New Jersey lawmaking. So this is very important election, very impactful out to communities dealing with property taxes, mass transportation. We did legalization of marijuana, which I was the primary sponsor of here in New Jersey. So it's really impactful to everybody.
Now you talk about you going for people should vote for you. Why should people vote for you? What are you going to change? What are you going to do? Why should people get out there and vote for Jamel Holley?
Well, when you look at the incumbent and the person who occupies the seat right now, it's been a person who has been very absent from the community, very silent on all the social justice issues that we're confronted with. I live in a majority district, Elizabeth, Roselle, Hillside, and Union. And this person here has just been absolutely vacant, been absent from all the issues, silent on all the issues that are being confronted with. So when you're electing Jamel Holley, you're electing someone who is amongst you and lives amongst you.
Gotcha. I was wondering, man, what's the status of legalization of marijuana in New Jersey?
Yeah, it's been a 6-year ride, and I've been tuning into your shows over the course of the last few years. Wasn't sure why I didn't get an invitation when it was my law and my bill. But we got it finally through. After 6 years, we finally got it through. The current status is that the Cannabis Regulatory Commission right now is hammering out the regulations. We passed the law, so their role is to hammer down the regulations, the application, the fees, setting up that process. So in about, I would say in a couple months or so, you'll start to hear that the applications will be ready, but we're about ready to go.
I was going to say, well, first of all, you probably reached out to the wrong person, because we'd have loved to have you up here. We was even trying to get you in person. But now, when you talk about it'll probably be ready. Now, what's to make sure that our community gets to invest in marijuana and weed, since we're affected probably the most by it? Because a lot of these times, they pass the laws and then they put these stipulations that won't allow our community to invest or to grow or to own dispensaries or to get anywhere involved. You got to have $1 million in liquid or $10 million in liquid, some ridiculous amount, which we know that our community necessarily can't pull up at that time.
Well, Envy, that's a great question, because that was part of the holdup in my fight that I had with legislative leadership, because they wanted to bring in this billion-dollar industry from folks from out of town coming to the state, making a lot of money, and leaving the people who look like us, the minorities, the women, the disabled veterans out of the play. And so what we were able to do is that 20% of the licenses have to go to minorities. It's not limited, but at least 20% of the licenses have to go to minorities, women, and disabled veterans. And then the taxes that will be derived from the purchases, normally that money goes into the state budget, but I was very adamant about that money going back to the communities, back to the impacted communities, back to the individuals who have been hardest hit on this so-called war on drugs. And we were able to get 70% of all those tax dollars back into our impacted communities. But the opportunity is going to be there. And those individuals who have prior convictions and prior arrests, they will not be prohibited from obtaining a license for marijuana, whether it's the dispensaries, whether it's growing. I included delivery licensing as well, which I think is going to be probably the most lucrative licenses to have. And so New Jersey by far has the best social justice model in the country. A lot of the states are starting to piggyback off of the language that I included, because a lot of states didn't include the minorities that you just mentioned. And so we have that here in New Jersey. It will be a level playing field. The conditional licenses and the micro licenses are geared towards the minorities and disabled women and disabled veterans, where you don't have to have that capital of $1 million. You don't have to have that multi-million-dollar account to get into the business. We've leveled the playing field here in New Jersey. It's by far the best model in the country.
I didn't know you wrote that bill 6 years ago, man. And
I did.
I wonder what gave you the foresight to know this is what the state of Jersey needed to go.
Well, Charlamagne, for me, it was about marijuana has been around for a very long time, right? In our communities, it's been around forever. So it wasn't just about legalizing marijuana for us. It was about creating that level playing field with this industry. And so I was very adamant, along with the members of the Black Caucus and the Latino Caucus, that we said that if you're going to bring this industry here, we are going to give you our votes to make this happen, but you got to put these perimeters in place. So we got the level playing field with the minority licenses. We got the 70% of the taxes going back into the communities, and we got expungements. So those people who had old criminal convictions, they would be expunged. The ones that were in the current court system would be dismissed, and it wouldn't prohibit you from getting a license if you had a past conviction. So we're very proud of the work. It took 6 years to do, but we got it right. And I'm looking forward to the industry coming here, and it's going to be a level playing field for everybody.
Now, what incentives do you have for New Jersey residents to actually stay in New Jersey? You see a lot of people are leaving New Jersey. I think Jersey is like top 5 or top 10 of people leaving New Jersey, going to other places. So what incentives do you have to make people stay?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, that's part of why I'm running for state senate, because property taxes are high. A lot of prices of other industries are very high. Folks are leaving, as you mentioned. But, no one like us is in that room. And part of the reason why I'm running for state senate is to get in that room, to get in that table, to let legislative leadership know that we exist. And that's been part of the problem, that we haven't had young African-American men, young African-American females, Latino females in that war room to have them understand that these issues are going on in our communities and we need to address it. And if we have to hold up our votes, or we have to, hold hostage some things to get some things done, and this is what we're going to do. We did it with legalization of marijuana. I did it with my bill that allowed individuals on parole probation. They can now register and vote in the state of New Jersey. I was the proud sponsor of the Juneteenth, first time in the history as a state holiday here in New Jersey. So it's all about getting in those rooms and making sure that you let legislative leadership know that we exist.
So I was going to ask if you support paroling, probation individuals having the ability to vote in Jersey, but you just answered that.
Yep. We got that done last year.
Okay. So how do you see Jersey moving forward, like after the pandemic, since everything's like beginning to open back up? How do we get the economy back on track and just get people comfortable with being out and about?
I've been on this campaign the last several months, Charlamagne. I think that people are really starting to get a little bit more excited about getting out there. A lot of things are starting to open up. A lot of people are being excited about getting out, opening up their businesses back up, new opportunities. Jobs are available now more than ever than we had prior to the pandemic. So I think we're coming out of this. I think we're doing it cautiously here in New Jersey, but I do see a light at the end of the tunnel here in New Jersey, and I think we're going to come back better and stronger.
Why do you think that, Democrats aren't taking all of these voter suppression bills serious? Like when I saw Joe Biden say the other day that, people who help folks register to vote, they got to double their efforts next year. Like, no. How about pass some legislation to protect our voting rights?
Yeah, I agree. This has become a real political issue, Charlamagne. I think that we've gotten away from reality. A lot of these elected officials aren't amongst us, aren't walking with us, aren't, talking to us. And I think that we're getting away from the reality of things. And I think we got to bring it back. But I think the responsibility is left up to the people, too. We elect these individuals and we elect them and we let them go into these offices and do what they want. We got to start holding them accountable, just like people hold us accountable for the jobs that we have outside of politics. People got to start holding their elected officials more accountable.
Damn.
Absolutely.
So how does it feel, man? I know you running because you got a lot of campaigning to do today. How does it feel to I guess potentially be the first African American state senator?
Feels good, man. But it always goes back to what my grandmother used to say: "To whom much is given, Charlamagne, much is required." So I know I have a responsibility at the end of the day, that when I'm elected, that I have to produce for the folks, because I want to come back to them at some point to have them reelect me. But it's real exciting. The folks are real excited here in this district. As I mentioned to you, this is a very high minority majority district. They never had an opportunity to elect an African American to the state Senate. It's been really great. The momentum has been great, and I think we're going to pull this off.
Well, get out there and vote tomorrow. His name is Jamel Holley for State Senate. And get out there and vote. And we appreciate you for checking in, man. And now that we got your numbers, when you do stuff like that, please come up here and use us, like the marijuana legislation or whatever else you got to talk to us there, because you can break it down a lot easier than a lot of the people that we know. So please come on through.
And it's just a reminder for me to vote, because I had no idea.
Yeah, I forgot to. I ain't gonna lie.
No problem. Vote column B, Team Holley all the way.
All right, brother. Thank you for checking in.
Take care.
Peace.